But here's what is not so old-fashioned. There's no elbow grease, as my mother would say here. This is how you're going to weed. Get rid of those weeds while you're standing up. There is no bending. There is no kneeling. There is no excessive pulling. You don't need brute strength for this. So it is a simple design, but I bet one that you have never seen before. It's called Grandpa's Weeder, and it's 3 easy payments of $11.97. It was created, this company is a small family-run business right here in the United States. They've been in business for about 20 years, and for 18 of those years, they've been coming to QVC. And I want to quickly show you the colors. They all do the same thing. Just pick the color that makes you happy, because when you see how ingenious this is, I think you're going to really love it. And if you're someone who, listen, nobody wants to bend over and pull weeds, but if you're someone who actually can't bend over and pull weeds anymore, or you know someone in that position, I think that this is a really great way to extend your enjoyment outdoors, you know, and really be able to garden the way you want to garden. So here are the colors. We have them in yellow, 450 in yellow, and that is it. So don't wait on that yellow, clearly. Here it is in red. How many in red? 1,100 in red. We have our blue, about only 350 in the blue, my goodness, and in the green we have 550. So I want to say hello to Kathy Schroyer. This tool was not invented by her family, but it was kind of rediscovered by her family. Kathy, can you, first of all, hello, welcome to In the Garden with Sandra, first time you've been in this show. So your mom actually found this tool. Can you tell the story?
Yes, she went to garage sales a lot when I was a kid, and so she came home with this tool, and this was one of the original ones invented in 1913, and she used it all day, every day. We live on a half acre. She loved it, and we discovered it in the garage and found out that nobody was manufacturing it anymore. And so we just basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We just recreated the exact same design. It's just a simple lever. It's got a steel head that's powder coated, and it's got a bamboo handle. We used to use hardwood. Now we decided to save a few trees, and now we're going to do bamboo. But it's the exact same simple design, turn of the century, and it just lets you pull weeds standing up. That's the beauty of it.
All right, I want to see how it works, but this is really one of the almost forgotten great inventions, because in 1913, when it was invented, lots of people weren't bending over and pulling weeds anymore, and then we all sort of forgot about it and went back to this like backbreaker.
Right.
So show me how it works.
Okay, all you do, it's almost so simple.
Okay.
Put it over the center of the weed. You're going to press down like a shovel. You take your foot off, and all you do is lean.
Oh.
And that root and that weed gets trapped in between those tongs and comes right out of the ground. And I did not bend over. I didn't have to kneel. I'm not pulling. And what we found over 20 years is people are like, well, wait a minute, what happened? I didn't see what happened. And that's because the magic is happening underneath the ground, which is why I have my little red mat here. Okay. And I like to show people really how this works and what's going on underneath the ground.
Yeah, show me, because this is really interesting. I don't know how that just picked up the weed.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So you get it down into the ground, and when you lean, that lever is forcing those tongs to pinch together. And that's the magic. So underneath the ground, it's pinching around that root, and it's just using simple leverage. It is just the most typical, ingenious turn-of-the-century tool, and that's all you do. So you're just putting it over the weed, you lean the handle, it pinches around the root, comes right out of the ground. And it works great for dandelions, thistles, crabgrass, anything with the taproot. Doesn't really matter how tall, doesn't matter how big the roots are, it will grab anything that's underneath that ground.
Well,
it's ingenious.
We all owe your mother like a debt of gratitude, because I don't know if I saw this at a garage sale and someone said, oh, that's some tool from 1913. I wouldn't even know how to use it, or be like, well, what is that? Why do I want that? I'm so glad she picked it. Look at this.
Isn't that something?
And by the way,
so ingenious.
Lest you think that, oh, well, she can do that because she's in a television studio. I have to tell you, our demos sometimes are so much harder just because I'm working out of a box. It would be easier in the ground. So the fact that I'm able to do this in this darn box, that is really wild.
It's true. I mean, obviously what you're seeing here is I can't walk around the yard and find weeds and pull them on Zoom.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So what I'm just wanting you to see how it works, but because we've sold this for 18 years on QVC, people in Florida, Hawaii, Alaska, Arizona, Maine, everywhere, hard dirt, soft dirt, clay, whatever it is, what we have received feedback from is that if you can get it into the ground, if you can press it, it'll work. So
amazing.
That,
especially for those weeds with the roots. Some weeds are easy, but some weeds, if you just pull off the top, that weed's just going to sprout more leaves. To be able to get in and really get to the root, that's why I think this is so invaluable. All right, so if you want the yellow that I've been using, we have fewer than 400 to go around. Here's the red, only 1,000 to go around. This is the most popular. Here's your blue, 250, and in the green, 425. And I'm noticing, Kathy, that the colors are pretty, but this material gives you a really nice grip. And then, of course, that bamboo is not only a nice renewable resource, it's also very, very strong. So, Kathy, I'm going to go ahead and try this again, but for anyone who can't get down on the ground but wants to take care of their own yard, this is a godsend.
It's so great. And it allows people to get outside and do some yard work when, they're just not able to get down. I can get down. My issue is getting back up. So that's usually the problem that a lot of people have. And so it just allows you to get outside, get some fresh air, do a little yard work, even if you're not as nimble as you used to be.
Right. And even if you are nimble, maybe you're doing yoga and gymnastics all the time. That doesn't mean that you want to be on your knees pulling weeds. I mean, this is really, really cool. And
people don't want to use chemicals anymore.
Well,
and
that's
so
true
this
too.
allows you to get those weeds without having to spray. People have children, grandchildren, pets. They don't want to necessarily be spraying harmful chemicals all over their yard. So this allows you to keep your lawn weed-free with no chemicals. And the other thing I just wanted to add, because we sell this tool all around the world. The only place where you can get these colors is on QVC.
Oh, well, I appreciate
and so
that.
it is a nice it's a soft grip, it's nice, foamy, comfortable. And so QVC is it. The other tools are just the bamboo handle.
Wow,
So,
okay. Oh, I'm glad to know that, because the colors are pretty, but it's not about the color. It's having this really grippy handle that makes it even more comfortable. So if you're just joining us, cool story. This tool was invented in 1913. In the 70s, Kathy's mom was at a garage sale and brought it home. And then her family decided, let's get this to the marketplace, because it was that great invention that everybody kind of forgot about.
It's so simple.
Thank goodness she found it at the garage sale and gave it a try. Okay, so here it is in the yellow, and over 1,000 have been ordered. We now have fewer than 300 left in the yellow. Here it is in the red. Red is very popular. Now we're down to 850. This is the blue, 150, that's it. That could sell out first. And then we have the green, 275. If you or someone you care about wants to be able to get weeds without bending over. Notice, in fact, when we were preparing for this show, my producer Ebony said, I don't know if that box is going to work great for those weeds. This is actually a tricky setup. If it can work with these plastic plants on a box, the problem is I can't get it down far enough. But look, even not getting it down far enough, it is picking up all these weeds. Imagine what it'll do in your yard. That's spectacular. Three easy payments of $11.97.
Yep, I was going to show everybody what's going on underneath the ground again, because that's all the confusing part, and that is where all the magic is. That's where all the action's happening. And so, just if you're wondering how this tool actually works, once you get it down into the ground around that root, you can see it right there. She's pushing it in, and all she does is lean, and that leaning is what forces those tongs to pinch together around that weed and that root and bring it right out of the ground.
You don't even have to keep your foot on it. In fact, don't keep your foot on it. This This is not an elbow grease or using a lot of brute force with your foot. Put your foot down once, take your foot off, and pull it up. Just remember that. Kathy, this is really cool. Thank you so much.